Anyway, I'm going to do a speech on diversity. But mine's going back to 1977 in the South, where the military wasn't really diverse as people think it is. When I was in the Army National Guard, I was only there for 28 days because they were not as liberal as I wanted them to be. Some of my friends had to sleep underneath the barracks in the dirt and the sand, the bugs and the snakes, because they were black. I didn't really put up with that. Probably mouthed off more than once, and within 28 days I was asked to leave. But didn't like my friends, stuffed underneath the building. I didn't like racial jokes about some of the whites, and they said my mom was a prostitute and everything else. And in where I'm from, that's fighting words. We would have been at it already. But I was raised with hardly any diversity at all. Everybody's first car was a pickup truck, and they did have a shotgun and probably a rifle too. And that's the way it was. My teachers went to school with guns in their car because they were hunting after school. I didn't see a really big change till actually probably 1980, 82, whereas some of my friends were still in school, and I knew some of the teachers. And in fact, at one point I wanted to be a teacher. But getting back to the military, in '77, it was a lot of racism, a lot of hatred, and walk down the wrong street in South Louisiana, and you might run into some guys with hoods on you didn't know, and you didn't know those people. And for me, I was scared because I was from up here. We have our own belief system, but we're not radicals either. At least the people I was with. I was raised in Ording. My graduating class was the size of 50, and I knew everybody all my life, their grandparents and their parents. And it was really a small community. At that time, we only had 1,000 people. And you couldn't do anything wrong because everybody in town knew you. They knew your family from way back. If you go into town and you look at some of the antique paintings, my relatives owned the Case Garage, which is now a bakery. But that's way back in 1920s. So for me, I wasn't really going to get away with too much in that community, so I basically kept it low key. But then in 1979, I went in the Marines, and I got another super culture shock and a huge amount of diversity, but there was no racism the whole time that I was there, from 1979 to 1982. When we first got there, the first day, we was thrown on the bus, come off the bus, get into the yellow footprints and all that. But they said, look at your sleeve. So we all, look at our sleeve, stuff like that. He said, we're all green. But we don't want to hear anything else about it from that point on. And we never did. I never heard anything about my mom. And that's just the way it was. They had a hard time with gays at the time. They threw 4 out the first 4 minutes I was in boot camp. They said we don't get up to 9 o'clock. That was a bad mistake. They had 2 beds crashed down on top of them with them inside. They said we get up at 4 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. You're here to take orders, and there wasn't much diversity from that program. But what I liked the best about the whole experience of the Marines is it was like a big unit, a huge family. You mess with one guy, you had 69 of us to go. So pretty much we're just a real tight unit, worked together, and really went through a lot of crazy stuff, and a lot of missions that we almost didn't come back from. I've had bullets part my hair before. It's pretty scary when I had a haircut like Fred there. My hair is long now. I had short hair like him, and all of a sudden you're sitting down and a bullet parts your hair because somebody put you in the wrong spot. A few of those things happened. At that time, I decided that my life was going to change also, and I made it through some huge amount of diversity. I quit drugs and alcohol in 1984 and haven't drank since. But those guys that put us in those spots were drinking at the time. So your life was on the line because you were actually controlled by an alcoholic. That's pretty scary. I found myself walking through impact zones for mortar shells, stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, 100 yards away, something explodes. A couple of trees and bushes fall over. So you figure that maybe you're in the wrong spot. But, I really liked my experience. I saw a lot of diversity. As far as different cultures, we had a guy from Oklahoma that was black and wore a cowboy hat and listened to country music. And everybody says, what? But all his partners listened to different types of music, wore different clothes, and pretty soon he went with them, finally switched over. But I've seen different cultures come together and work as a unit. Then I knew it was possible. In fact, I passed out candy today because even though I have diversity, he doesn't like chocolate. I was going to make some because I'm really good chocolatier, but didn't have time. But is there any questions? Yeah.
Do you think growing up in an all-white community made you a little bit more aware of diversity when you finally came across it?
It wasn't a scary for me when I first ran into someone that wasn't white. I remember I was at the mall and I was scared because you were, like you said, from all-white community. Everybody's like Mayberry. And
that's where I grew up.
yeah, and I thought there was something wrong with this person. No, it was me. Because out at Ording, yeah, we didn't have any diversity at that time. There is now, but
did it make you more eager to search out cultures?
It did.
Diversify yourself?
I was involved with different cultures from the very beginning, saying, "Hey, yeah, maybe there is something I could learn from those people," and there is. In fact, when most of Europe was conquered, if you had knowledge, it was worth more than gold. So you didn't get wiped out if you could spare some of your knowledge, some of your education to a conquering tribe like the Mongols. So if they have something you could barter with, knowledge, some type of literature, maybe a type, how to put up a type print, then they spared your life basically. And that's also how history went throughout the whole European continents. And trade. Yeah.
Was that the only experience down south you had about people sleeping on the
Yeah.
Really?
I was only there 28 days. It was so crazy. I didn't make it very long. I just wanted
I know I've driven through there a couple times. And I can tell you, it was. I didn't have to be there 28 days to find it.
Oh no.
Thank you.
Yeah. 28 seconds maybe.
Yeah. It gets pretty bad. But
Did you say
besides-
under? When you say under, what do you mean like?
Like you go outside, crawl underneath this building.
Crawl space under the house?
Yeah, but we had no crawl spaces. There was no boards. Because guys would sneak under there and drink or something. Because they'd sneak over to the PX and buy liquor. So they took out all the boards out of the bottom. But yeah, there was no boards or no skirting around the building.
So were they meant to sleep under there as a punishment? Or
Yeah.
because they
In
were
the
caught
military?
drinking?
No, they weren't caught drinking. These people were black and this guy said, okay, you're dirty. No, he's not. He takes a shower every night. This guy was messing with him. It was more a personal attack than anything else. Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who witnesses discrimination on the basis of a diverse orientation or cultural or racial differences?
I'd hopefully they could address it and get some counseling for it, depending on how far it goes. Because I've heard hazing go clear up to the point of murder. Just because this guy was getting always punished or hate groups were getting against him. Pretty soon someone just shot him. It was because this guy was gay in the military, but I don't remember if it was the Army or the Marines, but there was a whole groups of people just combating this person all the time, causing racial tension, and finally someone just shot him. It was really sad. But race and hatred go that far.
So, you know, my question
Yeah.
was though, if you happen to see something like that.
Oh, yeah, I would
what-
try to counsel the person that is coming against this other person, because I have no rights or any hatred towards anyone. The only time I protect myself or my loved ones is someone's attacking them. But just to go out and purposely go after someone, that's crazy. They need some serious help. Because there's something up in their brain that just doesn't click right. And if someone does that, it's more or less trying to take control or punish or be superior, I guess, to somebody else. And it just doesn't work. Yeah, in the
Were you
back.
ever treated badly by the white people for sticking up for your friends?
Yes, when I was raised up in Ording, there was a few people that were Spanish. I think in my second grade there was one lady that was black, but she didn't last more than a week. And yeah, I've been fighting racism all my life. So, I was the only one in Ording that stuck up for people like that, but I was also the biggest in my class too. So I didn't get pushed around
Would you
much.
tell us again about your experience with the Black Student Union?
Yeah. I started first of all at Pierce College, trying to get in the Black Student Union. But of course, they looked at me and, wait a minute, you're not black. But they didn't know I wanted to raise black awareness either, or black history, because some of the stuff was wrong. They put it up on the wall and like, okay. They don't like that when you tell them some of their history's wrong. But I've been trying to get into that club now for 20 years, and just recently got in. But I told him, you know, my son's black. I wanted him to know black history. Does everyone know that George Washington Carver made a linoleum? All this stuff on the floor, that was him. Made it out of peanuts. And he just took that small little peanut and has thousands of different little inventions off of one, root peanut that grows in the ground. I think it's a nut, yeah. But, it's a weird kind of nut too. It grows in the ground instead of like a bush on a tree. But they thought it was hog food. It was for the slaves out in the pens to eat. And the masters didn't know that it was actually edible. They found it out the hard way, but it has more protein than steak. But all the plastics, all this linoleum and mica and all this is some sort of derivative off of the peanut. But his original equipment for all these tests and studies, he had to get out of a dump somewhere, because none of the colleges would fund George Washington Carver either. You know, we have supplies like a computer, a lamp, a desk, papers, cordless mouse. He didn't have all that. All his stuff was taken out of a dump because no school would give him anything. He had to work for all his stuff on his own, do all his testing, and finally he got some students after a while. And then got to train some students, and pretty soon, just on George Washington Carver's tests he did on soil erosion, all the farmers in the area wanted to come talk to him. And pretty soon they started training all these farmers how to grow plants too. Because they were into erosion and not crop rotation. And they had to actually get more diverse too, because this guy was black, and they go, wait a minute. But also he was a great farmer too, huge scientist, and most of our accomplishments are through his research. But there's books that are just thick with all the knowledge that he has and all the training he's got to us. Like you go to the high school and they have like an FFA or a 4-H. That's all his training and his studies.